the Happy Hour podcast with your host, Joel Fleischman.
Hello, welcome to Joel Fleischman's Happy Hour podcast, episode number 51. With me today, I've got Nick Kreif from NJK Construction. Welcome, Nick. Cheers, Prost.
Thanks for having me, Joel.
Nick's first podcast. What do you got there?
Some kind of an IPA, I'm not sure.
ODE Lager from Central Waters Brewery.
ODE Lager.
You like IPA?
Can't stand it usually.
Oh, here, try this one. This one's easier.
No, I like it. I'll keep it.
Okay, you sure? This one's actually just like a Pilsner.
No, this ain't bad.
Okay, and then I got Crew Drive.
How come I got the big can?
I can drink too. This is from Crew Drive, also Central Waters. This is like their Pilsner, just like their summer beer. Like they do. This is like their special beer in the summer.
I like the special beers actually. I'm kind of into them nowadays.
That's it's not Busch Light, but it's like a better Coors Light. Like I could drink a dozen of these.
Like more like regular Coors.
It's like July 4th. Yeah, but this would be like July 4th beer. You know, like a High Life.
Where do you get
quality. This is Central Waters Brewing too at Amherst.
You can't buy it at
Yep, everybody can buy it. You can buy it, you just got to find it.
Oh, really?
Yep. So a big brewery in Amherst. So thank you for them for sponsoring as usual. So welcome, Nick. Episode 51, first of all. We do this a lot, Holden, right?
Yep.
You seem a little tense today, you okay?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get here on time. So
Yeah, you seem like you're a little jacked up. Just relax. 51, famous 51s. Nick's a huge sports guy.
Yeah, it wasn't my number in football, but I don't know what 51 resembles.
Any famous 51s?
I can't think of anybody who's 51 right now. Who's 51?
He's looking it up. 51s. I try not to get ahead of myself. Well, next week will be Clay Matthews, 52.
I always try and think of
51 Packers. Brady Papinga?
Who?
Papinga was 51.
I can't be famous.
Is he?
Well, that's the most famous one.
Zedarius was 53, right? Or 55.
Iconic MLB players: Randy Johnson, Ikario Suzuki.
Go like NFL. Nobody knows that. MLB died in the 1940s.
I agree.
There's got to be.
All right, well, while you look
Oh wait, but no, Buckus wasn't 51, was he?
We did that already.
Was he? Why does it say Buckus on here?
We did Buckus. See, I think we did a 51 and you're goofed up.
No, I don't think so. Because
we did. Schwartzmiller was 51. This is 52, buddy.
Oh, what?
Yeah, we just posted 51.
Well, there's a million 52s.
Yeah, so 52s. This is podcast 52.
Oh, we're 52?
Clay Matthews.
I think we got.
I already signed 51 on the wall.
Yeah, you got to change your name on the wall.
Oh, 52, that's easy.
Yeah,
That's Clay Matthews.
He gives it an identity.
No, it's 52. He'll change.
I kind of wish I was 58. I was told I had to say 58 on the radio today because the great Sam Fector from Kewaskum was number 58, and we pick on him at work all the time about being number 58 because
he's got a weird number.
Well, he kept it. That was his football number, and like he gave me his Gmail, and it's got that in it.
Oh, he is still.
And
Mr. 58.
he was the only athlete I ever coached that really did not even like playing football at all.
Okay. But now he's like Mr. 58 forever.
Now we call him Mr. 58.
So 52 we got
drives him nuts.
Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews.
Ray Lewis. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been easy.
Yeah, there's a famous one.
All right,
fair enough.
Cheers.
52 it is.
So Nick Kreif, NJK Builders. Tell me a little bit about your background. Where'd you grow up? How'd you get into construction?
Well, when I was about 15 years old, I started working for NJK Construction out of Camelsport. And I carried that all the way till...
So I've known you since you were 15. You would come in for boxes of nails.
Right.
1 2x4 8.
Yep. And that carried me till I was 22 years old. So
Nickname was Doughboy. Since when?
Since the movie Boys in the Hood came out.
Which would have been how old?
I don't know. Can you look that up?
Yeah.
I was probably like 13 maybe.
Like, what do you Google it? You got to throw it up there when you're Googling it.
I think I was 13 when the movie came out.
Because I knew you as Doughboy even when you were 15, 16.
Yeah, it's stuck. I was like that all the way through high school, and now it's part of my logo and everything else. But
what was it called?
Boys in the Hood.
You don't know the movie Boys in the
Hood? I know. I just wasn't remembering.
He doesn't know.
I never saw it, but I know of it. Ice Cube, right?
You're old. Sure.
It was like
Boys in the Hood,
why do you think everybody got excited about the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah. July 2nd, 1991.
I was 11.
All right, fair enough.
There it is. That's when I got the nickname
So I knew him as
Doughboy.
Doughboy, 15, coming in for NJK Construction. That's how he learned the trade. You did that till you were 22?
22, I went on my own. Yep.
You've been on your own since you were 22?
Yep.
And how old are you now?
I'm 42.
So you got 20 years of owning your own construction business.
Yes.
Born and raised in Camelsport.
Yes.
Still live there.
Still, yep. On the outskirts.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's changed in the industry? Oh, go keep going. Keep going about yourself. You do some coaching. You like sports.
Yeah, I like coaching, like sports, like giving back to the community, including Kewaskum, because I was a part of that for a while now. But what's changed with industry?
I'll go back. Stay on that. So, 20 years, and you also beyond. Again, we'll stay with your career. Beyond just being a construction owner, you've owned some bars.
One, well, two. The one next door.
Well,
same name, Cully's. We just
but two locations.
That started
two
in
different businesses.
That started in the year after, so that was when I was 23. So, 2003, right? Yeah. And then I sold that exactly a year ago, actually.
Right. So you've been in the restaurant business for
19
years, right?
Yeah, roughly. Yep.
Yeah, crazy. So pretty diverse. Anything else that you own that I don't realize you own? You started off a baseball training facility type thing?
That's just starting now, though.
Right. That's called what?
Aftermath Sports and Facilities.
So you can rent out space is what it really is?
Yeah, it's mainly for softball and baseball players. I'd say primarily softball players, but baseball youth can go in there, but not. It's not really set up the best for like hardcore high school,
right?
Because the length of pitching for them is so long.
Right. So it's got a pitching machine, nets.
Yeah, all of it, turf,
right. But it's meant for hitting.
What's
that?
For
hitting.
Yeah, hitting, pitching, fielding, because you can slide all the cages back. And then you
don't have trainers. That's more like dad's helping out or mom's helping out.
For the most part, I allow coaches to come in there.
They come in, but you wouldn't provide.
I don't hire them.
You're renting space out.
I'm renting space. They got to pay for their coach, and then they got to pay me.
Right.
So.
Any other things we should talk about? Business. I mean, you're a coach. You business.
Like other things or what?
Yeah, I don't know what else.
Well, I was gonna get into the what's changing in the industry, but I don't know. That's my main interest. I miss coaching. To be honest with you, I wish I still did.
Football coach.
Football, yeah.
The highest level you ever coached was coordinators?
Offensive coordinator for Kewaskum, and Camelsport at varsity.
At varsity.
That was the highest, yes.
So you get back into that at some point because you miss it.
I got to head coach a couple of games because of bad circumstances, right. But other than that, yeah.
Cool. So maybe that's where we'll start, right? 20 years in, you're not that old, but you got 20 years in. What has changed? And you've always bought the lumber at Camelsport Building Supply, then Drexel, right?
Prime 90%.
Right.
90, if not 100 most years, but yeah, primarily.
How much do you think you've spent by us?
I can't even imagine.
What do you think, $300,000 a year?
Oh, I'm spending way more than that right now.
No, but on average through 20 years, $500,000 a year?
Yeah, I'd say $500,000 a year.
Right.
So
that's good business, man. $10 million bucks.
Yeah.
Pretty good, thank you. Appreciate the $10 million bucks. That's good stuff. That's a lot of 2x4s.
You don't really think about it.
No, it stacks up after a while, doesn't it?
It's a little more expensive now, but
yeah.
That's
a good one. So what's you started at 15, Lindsley Construction. Jeff at that time had 12 in-house guys. Hardly anybody has in-house guys anymore.
Yeah, right. I'm probably like the only guy around here that actually has employees.
Right.
I
How many
think.
Do you have?
I have 4.
You have 4, so you're on a full crew.
Yep.
And you do the roughing and finishing, or just roughing?
All of it. Siding, roofing.
You'll take it from foundation.
From the foundation through.
Right. And all you guys work together on that. You don't sub anything out.
Unless I have to.
Unless you have to because you're just too busy.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So
we like doing everything.
In your opinion, what has changed the most in the last 20 years?
I would say the whole when you go look at a job and you gotta do a better job of trying to earn the customer's trust, because it's like a bidding war per se. Where in my first probably 5 to 6 years, it was like you show up, you got the job, it was a handshake,
Why do you think that is? People in general are more skeptical. What's changed in that process?
I think that it's just people aren't as trustworthy as they used to be. I think that's a big thing in the world all around.
Mm-hmm.
The internet's bigger, so they can really dive into you. If
they may know more than you know.
They know more,
products,
right? On products
specific
and
products,
right. And, you know, it's a lot different even with dealing with lumberyards like Drexel or whoever, because when I first started, like Tim Lindsley would just do everything, you know, like if I needed windows or whatever.
Yeah, you just tell one guy.
And now, right, now that's different because obviously you guys have grown, and
Well,
not a bad thing. But
and really, it hasn't been because we're growing. I've talked to us about this a lot. It's the complexity of our industry.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, when you started at 15, we talk about this all the time. You're talking indoors. It was hollow core or solid core, gluon or oak.
Right.
The casing was
Metal, light.
yeah. Well, there was 3 in-house pre-finishing colors, but really it was down to do you want ranch or colonial?
Right.
And the rich folk had colonial. I mean, I remember getting arguments with husbands and wives.
Right.
Listen to
Oversized
arguments.
casing.
They'd
Yeah.
be like, who do we think we are? Like, honey, who do you think we are? We don't need colonial casing.
Yeah.
We can ranch is just fine. Put ranch down. You know?
Yeah. Right.
That was it. So
Right.
one guy could keep that all in his brain, Tim Lindsley or you. But, you know, it's so specialized now. I mean, Anderson Windows had a 3-ring binder this big.
Yeah.
That's it. That's everything you could get. I could train somebody in a week. I'd hate to guess how big. If they had to print out everything available at Anderson, it's limitless.
I don't even want the book. I used to be able to take the book to jobs.
Yeah, so
and do it on my own.
So and again, that's gotten more complicated. The builder used to be able to wing a lot too, as far as the bidding. Talk about a bidding war. I could kind of wing it, right? You go to a basement, you're like, it's gonna be $9,000 all day. Now, who the hell knows?
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah. I would say that's the biggest change, you know, and you know, especially with the way prices are now, like people want to bid, especially on a new home, and you kind of like, I tell them like, well, you know, my aspect of the whole project is, you know, 1/8 of the fraction, you know, what I get to do this. All the other things are
Fixed.
so you got to put trust into a builder, whether it's me or whoever, and let them guide you through it. Otherwise, a bidding war doesn't get you anywhere because some guys are including things that aren't. And
You know, Nick, I've been asked a million times, Joe, who would you recommend as a builder? Come on now, tell me, you know. And I always say it, again, it sounds politically correct, and it's somewhat it is. It's who you trust.
it is.
Because I said, you know, ultimately there's going to be ideas that Nick has. There's going to be prices that you didn't consider. He's going to have you're going to have changes you didn't consider, and then there's going to be a price component to it. And you have to say, yeah, Nick, you know, hey, we can save a little bit a year. I've been thinking about let's do it this way, or you do it that way. It's going to be $300. You can't go to Nick and be like, prove it, because we're building a house together, right? So there's going to be a lot of like little stuff that comes up. Hey, just so you know, we can level that back portion off that we didn't think about. It's going to be 2 dumpsters full or 2 trucks loads of gravel. It's going to be $800. Are we good?
Right.
Or $8,000, and you don't have time to like justify everything. Either it's good or not good. So you have to trust.
Yeah, and
lead times.
and lead times. That's
So if I'm building with you right now, right? We've talked a lot on different podcasts about lead time. I guess everybody in the country knows lead times, price. If I'm going to you to build right now, how do you give me an accurate price? Because you're booked till when? Like if I walked in and called you and said, Nick, when can you build me a house?
Well, we're not like super, honestly, like I have 3 houses going on right
But
now.
if I called you and said, when can you build me a house?
Oh God, like if we'd have to have that going in the next month or 2, or it probably won't even happen, you know, as far as like the whole being in by Christmas thing, for
Right,
sure.
so you're going to build, if I called you today, you said, we're going to do it this winter or next spring.
Yes.
I'd say, cool, sign me up. What's it going to cost?
Huh.
So how do you, so I'm in, so I'm going to wait 9 months. You're going to send them into Drexel for our design services, I hope, right?
Yep.
Right?
Kevin does
They're
it.
going to come back in a month and be like, all right, we're good. So then how do you price that out? Right now, how would you, or how do you?
Well, you get quotes from everybody. I mean, for the most part, like when you get a quote from concrete and whatnot, that stuff's pretty good for the whole year right now.
Okay, they're at least saying that.
Yeah.
At least now.
It is now. I mean, the lumber obviously is a big thing
Right.
because you can build a home and price it out now, and then all of a sudden we actually get it going in August. It could be cheaper. That could happen.
Well, it's really crazy. People are ordering their trusses and their windows because of lead times. Lumber gets updated, and it's $30,000 more.
Right.
And they'll even call me because they think you and I are in cahoots and we screwed them somehow.
Right.
Well, I wouldn't have built if I knew the lumber was going to be that high. And I'm like, look, I'll send you all the bars and graphs and charts. And they're like, well, you should have locked me in when you could have. And I'm like, how does that work? Like, I don't explain to me, how do I lock people in like that? It's impossible to lock people in because even if I had all that inventory, it's going to rot. Like wood isn't like a piece of gold. Like it's going to not rot, but moisture conditions, outdoor conditions, like. And then what am I going to bring it in for? I mean, you owned a restaurant. I can't sell that vodka for 18 when my new vodka is 42.
Yeah.
Right. So no, it's not worth 18. Well, you bought it for 10. You're going to sell it to me for 18. Let's do it. Yeah, but my new bottle's 42. So I got to blend that price together. Yeah. So I can't just lock people in 6. I'd love to. That'd be so easy.
Yeah. How do you do it? You got to make. Yeah.
So what do you tell them? So what are you going to tell me?
I basically tell them what we just said. Like, I'll give you a price now, and I, for the most part, I try to pad a couple areas and tell them that I'm doing that. Like,
anticipate the increases.
I'm going to try to give you a price that is almost like a not to exceed type of thing, and hopefully we can come under.
Right.
The worst thing that can happen in my industry is to go over. That creates a lot of things, like the homeowners obviously it's hard to go back to the bank to get money.
Yeah, banks like what's going on.
And the homeowners, towards the tail end of the project are already getting most of the time a little bit antsy. It's just the way it is, I mean, when you're getting close to the project being done and then you're dealing with the financing and they want to get closed and then all of a sudden you're over and that's going to delay the closing. That is the ultimate worst thing to happen. So, like, my whole goal when I'm building is to try to, no doubt about it, keep it within the budget that we set the day we start.
Will not exceed, basically.
Yes, right, exactly.
Right,
and that's always trust too then, though,
Right, because you can't go out and pick out $27,000 light fixtures.
Right. I mean, so that might put me higher than the next guy,
right.
But that's kind of like where I sell myself, well, this is what we're doing.
And obviously that's worked for 20 years and you're booked till Christmas, so something's working.
What's that?
Something's working.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I mean, with the help I have and with, obviously Chuck and Drew helping me, subbing out, they're really amazing carpenters. And
shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to Chuck and Drew. But we got a really good crew right now, so I can't complain.
That's good.
Yeah, it's the best I've ever had.
Yeah, best you ever had.
By far.
And you seem like you're in a good spot company-wise.
Yeah.
Even with all the craziness going on.
Yeah, we got the new shop, and we got new vehicles. Everything's going. All that's good. It's just the headache of ordering things so far ahead and almost forgetting what you ordered.
Truly. Yeah. Truly, it's like, okay, that's in now. What's in?
Yeah.
And even for the homeowners, well, what color was it? And I think what we're going to really happen, and maybe you're not ready for it, maybe you are, we're going to screw up.
Yes.
So we waited 5 months for windows. What happens when 2 come in wrong?
Yeah, then what?
Because the manufacturers used to be able to make that happen.
Spin that out.
Yeah, like, oh shit, hey Anderson, we screwed up at Bayport. When you got a truck coming down? Hey Nick, just so you know, we got it in 5 days, and that happened all the time.
Right, not no more.
Another 5 months.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're gonna do. I mean, that's what we have.
That's gonna happen.
But we really got to brace for that. I don't know what that looks like. I do not know. Cabinets as well.
Because if you don't have a window, like I've had homeowners move in homes like the one I just did on V.
Yeah.
Basically had to move in without overheads. They still are living with white panels.
Yeah, I drive by it every day.
That's not right.
Right, drive by it every day.
And that's a year now that I'm waiting for those. That's how long ago I ordered them.
Jeez. But at least they're moved in. I don't know what you're going to do when a window's wrong. I do not know what's going to happen. But we'll deal with it as we deal with it. That's what we can do.
Or like the homeowners forget the color they picked out. And then it's such a long time that all of a sudden you go to a parade of homes or you talk to Uncle Jack or whoever and they change your mind. Well, it's too late. And
right. I actually think this has been good for the industry in a lot of ways. We used to have 2 weeks on trusses, 2 weeks on windows. You're literally building a house. What are we doing? Like, when did you think you needed trusses in 2 weeks? I mean, you were that guy. I knew Nick for a long time. Know Nick for a long time. You're that guy. You're all hyped up, bent out of shape. Trusses would go from 2 to 4 weeks. Well, what the hell? 4 weeks for trusses? I'm gonna have to start shopping somewhere else. You can't do this.
Yeah, right.
Like, you didn't know you had a permit, dug a hole, built a foundation, had footings. Like, what was that? I mean, that was.
We used to measure the foundations before we ordered the trusses.
I hope we don't get back to that because that was stupid.
Yeah.
Like ordering shit as we needed it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of like buying a car and it's like you're piecing it together. What else do you need for the car? Oh, we'll let you know next week. You got the tires on order. We'll call you about the color tomorrow.
The only thing it would be nice on is windows.
Yeah, I mean that's too extreme, but I do think
like
we've
a
gotten
month.
better now.
A month would be nice.
Yeah, I think we'll get back to it, but I do think I want to meet with we as Drexel want to meet with your homeowners, and I think as our industry, let's just get it ordered.
Yeah.
Again, and then we aren't talking to Uncle Jack, because I do think, I always use my example of Pam and we're eating at Crave across the street. She has massive anxiety what to order every time we go out to eat. But the second you order it and it goes to the kitchen, you don't worry about it anymore. So it's kind of like the same way. Like if we can be really organized and really good at Drexel and you as a builder, get that stuff on order and follow up with an email and get them really confident about their selections, I think they'll move on.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So let's do that earlier. Not like while they build. That's so stressful.
It gets it easier on my end because it's 2 trips into Drexel.
Yeah.
It's okay, we gotta get this done.
Which is great. And it's
But it's a little excessive right now,
Yeah,
like,
no. Like it's
if it could be cut about half.
Yeah, but again, let's not get back to where we're just ordering shit as we go.
No, I agree.
Hey, you gotta go in tomorrow night and order millwork because we need that next
What allows
Tuesday.
the homeowners to change their minds, which
That and the pressure of it all. Like, hey, we got to get millwork ordered tomorrow, or it's not going to be there on Thursday. And Nick's not going to have any work to do, and then it's like, and then there's weird consequences, right? Well, like, they picked out a railing. Well, that railing isn't really how I built the stair system or whatever it is. It's like, oh my God, what were we thinking back then, really?
Yeah.
So tell me a funny story. What's like your what's the best thing a supplier ever did for you? Does it not have to be Drexel or a subcontractor, electrician, plumber? Like, what stands out? Like, this was something that would made a big impression on me at a young age or in the last 20 years. Plumber, electrician, could be Drexel.
Not a homeowner, right? Like a supplier.
Yeah, like a supplier. As you're building stuff, like this person really went above and beyond. Or the opposite. What's the worst thing that ever happened that put you in a pinch? Sadly, that's probably easier to remember.
Not really. Like the worst thing. Damn. There's been a lot. And nothing really rings a major bell. I would say the worst thing would have been like a supplier put me in was like, I would say the battle we were having, like, I don't know. When did you guys start doing trusses? 3 or 4 years ago?
3 or 4 years ago, yeah.
Okay. In the beginning, it wasn't so good.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It was horrible. So I would say some of those instances I ran into.
Truss.
What's that?
Roof truss that goes on the house. So there's a house, the shingles.
Like
It's a
the roof
truss,
system.
The roof system,
Okay.
which can be super complicated because that carries all the weight.
And when the more it's complicated, the more prone things could be messed up,
So to explain that to me.
So, like,
You remember one job specifically?
well, I would say that I did a job out on a Long Lake.
You're the kind of guy that, right, that like your daughter's name's Millie, you'll forget her birthday, but you can remember the color shingles of some dude's house on Auburn Lake.
I can't forget her birthday, though. It's on Halloween. It's
okay,
impossible.
but I mean, it's things like that.
Yes.
Like, I'll forget my kid's birthday.
I'll remember a measurement from like
Yeah.
a week ago that I
I've
took.
had guys come in, back when I was working the counter more, and they were coming in to replace their shingles, and I'm like, oh yeah, I sold your shingles driftwood. They're like, no way, dude. I'm like, for real? I know that. Like, I delivered them.
Right.
It's horrible. How dumb are we, right?
I agree. So I would actually say both. My whole story can go hand in hand. There's probably other ones, but so we were doing a job on Long Lake, and I know it was probably 3-4 years ago. It was a complex. It was actually a detached garage, but it had dormers and a bonus area and all this going
kind of
on.
Classic lake garage.
Yeah.
They call it the mother-in-law suite now.
Yeah, kind of like that. Correct. It was on the other side of Long Lake. It was July 4th weekend. It was like July 3rd. It was a Saturday, and it was hot. And I had a Keith Schmidt and I can't remember someone else helping me, like on the weekend, you know. And we needed to get these, we had the trusses set and we had to do the dormers, and they were all like wrong. And that was a very frustrating moment because I had guys there. But how'd
that play out? Like, it's good for everyone listening. How'd that literally play out? Saturday, 2:00. We're gonna get the shit done today.
Didn't happen.
Shingle, so you just pulled off.
Yeah, well, nothing we could do.
How frustrating is that for you?
Very frustrating because I had good workers there and we were like ready to get it done, so I didn't have to deal with it because I had guys off on Monday, and then whichever, but we were watching everybody boating and having a good time, and
Right,
it
but
was
you're
just
jacked
like
up to get it
we
done.
were trying to get it done, and so we can go do stuff
And
like
then you
that.
see it
And then
you're like, this isn't happening.
right, and it wasn't just, I shouldn't say like Drexel trusses or anything, but I mean your trusses have came a long ways since that day.
Good.
That's just like anything, no.
Right.
So, something new is never going to be right.
No,
you got to
right.
learn.
But that
But
doesn't
like
make,
I
that
called-
doesn't, that doesn't make it right.
No.
And that's a little bit with our Drexel's growth. Sometimes it's we had something go wrong the other day, and I'm like, it's really hard to run a company as you're trying to get better, but you can't just shut down.
Right.
You gotta be like, hey, Nick, we bought a truss company. Everybody, in a year, we're gonna come back. We'll sell trusses the right way.
Yeah.
Don't buy from me for now.
Right.
Everyone that's employed there, I don't know, sit around until we fix all the problems, and then we'll reemerge in a year. Well, that ain't real.
No.
Like, we got to keep going.
You got to keep going, and
And it's
that's,
not every job's bad, but yeah, some job's going to be.
oh, you're going to have that no matter what. No one's
Same with
even.
new people, Like, I don't know what to do. Like, they're new. They're going to screw up.
So, and I would say the story goes hand in hand because I remember a phone call I made that day on a Saturday at probably 11 a.m. I called Steve Hergus, your guy,
Shout out to Steve.
on his cell phone, and he's like, "What can I do? How can we make it right?" And the next, just for him to answer his phone and be, giving a crap about what was
Give a
going
shit.
on,
Yeah.
that was a big deal to
Yeah,
me.
be available, right?
Yeah, right. And he was one of those guys,
I think one of the most important things, and forgotten in any customer service, your restaurants, or just give a crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I just think in our industry, and again, not just Drexel, but the importance of giving a crap. Like, do you actually, like I always do this, right? I'm Nick Kreif. I need stuff out here. Does that person care?
No.
Right? No, but again, that's the component that makes it awesome if they do care, right?
Right.
Like, okay, Nick, what do you need? Like, I
Right.
can tell you're jacked up.
Yeah,
Really
like that's why I
well,
called
dude,
Dan
I'll
Hall
throw
a
it
lot,
on the
yeah.
load, and whenever everybody makes like that. That's
Yeah.
probably pisses me off the most.
I totally agree. That's one thing that I would say in the 20 years of buying from Drexel has never really changed. Is the customer service is like probably the best.
They care.
Well, they get it
Well,
out,
that's
and you get it done.
Right,
You get it
just get
out
shit
there.
done.
You don't have to
Seriously.
wait 3 days for.
Which
10
you have,
2x4s.
which you have seen on occasion when you've used other people.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
Yeah, you got to call ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to be organized because
You got to be, and which hard when you got days like today.
Yeah.
Or like tomorrow, we're supposed to set trusses. Is it going to snow? Is it not?
So as a builder, this is a question I have. As a builder perspective, you started here when you were 15, 20 years ago. So we're at 2002. We have 2 locations, Campbellsport and Berlin. In Campbellsport, we probably have 20 people that work there, maybe 15.
Yeah, like
And now we have like 125. So as a local builder, how has that impacted you? The growth, the change?
I would say,
Just looking back, looking forward, looking current.
I would say what I don't like about it, and there's nothing you can do because of the evolving, is I don't like, what I liked about the old days, like we talked about before, I liked the fact that Tim Lindsley just handled everything, and,
Right.
but I understand why now. It's just a difference, and I miss those days
He used to do
because
his own estimates.
yeah, that's what I mean. Everything.
Yeah. No, I mean literally. I mean, I did the estimates, and I would call in, and even if we had 4 people, that wouldn't be possible. A little bit the houses to estimate now with computer software take 8 hours.
Yeah.
With computer software, I used to be able to bang out a full-blown house takeoff in 2-3 hours
Sure.
if I was focused. I would take them home at night and do them.
Right.
Like if Nick needed one tomorrow, I'd just take it home at night and do them.
And get it over with.
I
Right.
mean, the homes you build now by hand takeoffs would take 2-3 days.
Oh, I believe
It's really
that.
just the complexity. But
Complexity,
anyways,
right? Yeah. So I'd say that's the one thing that I would say, if you want to talk about that, I miss or whatever. It was just more. I think things were easier, I guess, at that point. Like getting bills out at that point in time, you got paid quicker, for sure. That's another problem nowadays. You don't get paid very quick.
Right.
It's just more of a process.
Yep, everything's a process.
Everything's more complex. Everything,
Right.
draws, and every title company's different. Every title company, I've learned so much about that. You gotta.
And you do your own paperwork, or do you have somebody?
I pretty much do it all. Yeah, I mean,
So you need somebody.
I could use somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah Busloff or I'm sorry, Nice now, Craig's.
Hi, Sarah. Shout out.
She helps me out quite a bit, but she's got her own job and
Right, but you could use somebody. That should be your next thing.
yeah, that
Maybe
is
your
we're
size.
working on it.
Good.
Working on it. So,
Okay.
but that would be, yeah. When you got 4 employees and stuff, there's
Do
a
you
lot
do
to
payroll
do.
and everything?
Yeah,
Yeah. What do you use? What software?
QuickBooks.
QuickBooks for everything?
Yeah,
Yeah, you need somebody.
yeah.
Probably like yesterday.
Well, I mean, Sharon does like the quarterlies.
Yeah.
Sharon Schwartz does
Yeah,
the
but day to day, you're at that point.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing with Aftermath. Like the sports thing, I wanted to try to pool that together and have someone.
Right, because then they can manage that.
Right, because I get a lot of texts. Like I should probably look right now.
Yeah.
Like
So it's like a fob system or something? Or
What?
use like a Google Calendar with a
Yeah,
fob system?
right.
Yeah, so you need somebody to be project manager of that, right?
Right. So
You need
like
a little bit more revenue to
I get a
that position.
text message at 2:30,
Yeah.
and I'm in the middle of something, I forget,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden I got people doubled up because
Yeah.
that's one thing I've learned about that.
That's not good.
They come in, they're very sporadic.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden I'll have nothing on Saturday, and boom, I'll have 8 people coming.
Right. Right.
You know.
No tournaments, weather, or whatever.
Right,
Or
exactly.
holidays. Or
Holiday, right,
Day off.
right.
That's
So,
interesting.
but yeah, I would, that the complexity of all that is what's changed the most. It's not as easy to, I don't know. It's very different.
Yeah.
In all aspects.
Right. Well, it really is. I mean, there is nothing easy anymore. A cabinetry job's not easy. A countertop's not easy, and it's not easy in a bad way. So much more custom, so much fancier, so much cooler, so many more ideas out there.
So many more at Pinterest.
Yeah, yeah.
Pinterest is a knife in the back. Like
yeah, it can be, right? And HGTV, and thank God with our new residential design services, we can finally mimic that.
Yeah.
But they see things happen overnight. They say 3D designs. They're like, I've been watching this for 30 years. You can't do that, Nick? Big Bad Drexel can't do that?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not real world. That's TV world. But they grew up watching it now, right? So we have to do that.
No, I agree.
That guy's custom hand planing that shiplap for me. And you're like, yeah, I don't do that.
Right.
What?
Right.
Well, I saw it on TV. It's cool. Like, what?
That happens all the time.
I don't go to.
Pinterest
I'm not going to go
is-
with you to an auction barn and pick out boards. I'm not doing that, right? Like that's not a thing.
Yeah, it's not in the bid.
Yeah, it looks cool. That's
Right.
going to cost you like.
Well, if it was
$80,000.
time and material, it'd be different.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
But
some
that-
limited budget. And even then, it's like I got other jobs. I can't just stand and do your pantry for 3 weeks. I had 3 days. Right.
Right.
Time-
Especially when you're going to load it full of canned goods and you're never going to see it. You
Yeah,
know?
but in theory, yes, it's going to be beautiful.
Right.
The one topic I got to do, because this is kind of a great story, is we actually have a July 4th. You said July 4th. We have a July 4th history.
Oh, we do.
That we don't
I think
ever,
I know
we
you're.
never talk about this.
I think I know what you're going to bring up.
Well, we probably spent, how many July 4ths do you think we spent together? Close to a decade?
Oh
Maybe
God, it was quite a few.
Might
Was
be
I
close.
running the bar at that time too, or not?
Well,
Or was it Woody's?
Well, it had to be when we were working together. It had to be when you were 21
Right.
or darn close. So let's
Yeah, it
talk
might have
about
been.
that. It had to be close to a decade we did that, right?
Are you talking about the festivities or the drinking out of the shoe? That's the one I
Yeah,
remember.
both.
You remember
we
the
did that
drinking
all.
out of the shoe?
That was kind of a thing I did quite often. So that specific one I remember. but
That's one thing I remember about you. Was
All right,
in,
so tell the whole story. Like we're sitting next to a guy at the bar that's never heard this story.
I
what, like, things you don't
I
know
don't
about
really,
Joe?
I don't really know why we drank out of the shoe. You had some kind of a theory about it, right? Or what was it? I don't know why did we.
So
drink?
my whole thing about drinking out of a shoe was it all
I don't
started
really
at
know
Thursday
why.
night softball, and we'd play softball. And one night, just out of the blue, I'm like, I don't know, I had my shoes kicked off, right? And I'm like, oh, screw it. I just put a beer in there, and it was me and Timmy Krebs, and they're like, no way, right? Softball shoe, like just horrible cleats. And then
Tell your dad that.
and then it became a thing where I did it almost every week. I even did it at weddings for a while, like with my wedding shoes. But the thing is, you'd walk around the bar and see how many people you could do it. And we'd have cute girls do it, young girls. You just like, come on, do it. And they'd be like, oh, you're like, oh my god, it's so good.
That's where that started.
That's where it started on Thursday night softball, and then it became like a thing. But
I
it was like
remember
brutal.
doing it
Like
right
you'd
down
wake up
there.
like the next day at the wedding, you wake up and you're hungover and really tired. And you go to put your shoes on. You're like, oh, dude, I drank out of my shoe, and the shoe would just be moppy wet. It was so bad. And then we got in the worst one, and basically what ended it all. We would remember cold filtered beer. Remember when that was a thing?
The what?
Cold filtered beer. Remember
Oh
when it
yeah,
was cold
yeah.
filtered?
Yep.
So we would run it through my sock into the shoe and then drink out of it. That was cold filtered. because we'd filter it through my sock.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
That's
that
how
was the
far
thing
that
for a
took
while.
off?
Yeah, it took off. And then that was kind of like, this is the grossest thing ever. We got to shut this thing.
I know I did it once. So
Yeah, I could do it again. That's fine. I never died from it.
another memory I have, and I think it was from down there, is I'm fairly certain it was you. It could have been Todd Flitter, but I think it was you. You told me one time never to leave fun to have fun.
Yeah, never leave fun to have fun. That's mine.
It's
Yeah,
you,
that's
right?
Me. That's me.
Yeah,
I still use that with my
I
kids.
think I was leaving, and we were having a good time on the 4th or something, and you're like, never leave fun to have fun.
Yeah, because that's
It's
the
so
one for you,
true.
It's so
It's
true.
so
Like,
true.
Like we're having a really good time at a bar. Like, well, we should go to another bar. Yeah, we should. And
No.
you're having fun. You go to the next bar, and it's never
It's not
as
fun. No.
It's like, why did we leave the fun? Like, it was happening. Like, when you have that energy, don't leave fun to have fun.
And unexpected fun.
Yeah.
That's
like
the
you go up
best.
north with the guys weekend, you're having a great time at a bar. Like, we just got to go find another bar.
No.
You walk into the other bar, and you're like,
Yeah.
How much stuff you got in that beer?
what? Like one swallow? Why? I'm not drinking out of the shoe holder.
Come on.
You have to be a certain energy level to get that going.
Oh, you're challenging him.
Yeah,
How
he's a
you?
peach.
I'm not drinking out of the shoe.
The ship has sailed.
that ship sailed. You can do that.
Or it could maybe after midnight or
I'm
something.
not 21.
But the story I was going to go with is you actually did a thing called a truck pull.
Oh, the
You did
truck pulls.
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball,
That's what I
yeah.
mean. We probably spent close to 10 years doing that. So in Campbell Sport, for, like I'm telling people that don't know anything, in Campbell Sport, there's a huge volunteer fireman picnic.
Mm-hmm.
And we came up with the world's largest truck pull.
Yes.
Right, Lumberyard helped to run it with Ike Parent. Shout out to Parent Trucking.
Yeah.
And you had an amazing team. So kind of explain what the truck pull was and how it worked. Like you're talking to your Millie.
The truck pull, I believe, was made of up to six guys.
That sounds good.
I think
sounds
so.
right,
Yeah,
sure.
6 guys, and it was you could do it a variety of different ways. You had to basically
pull it.
pull the truck and as far as
Loaded
you
full of shingles. Our biggest truck we had loaded full of shingles.
and pull it as far as you possibly could.
Right. So one year we just created this world's largest human truck pull. We just created it. We didn't know if it was going to work after the parade, and so we had like a half barrel set up at the just down below. No, up at half barrel, one half barrel.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
all of a sudden, everyone from the parade showed up.
yeah. It was gone.
It was gone in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I think that year we went through 8 half barrels, and I think in future years we maybe went through 20. Am I exaggerating? I think that was right.
It was good.
We had the Red Bull people there.
Yeah.
And on the top of the truck, I was the MC
Yep.
and the DJ. Yeah, well, I was getting MC, like, come on, pull it, pull it, pull it. And they would just pull the truck, and whenever they couldn't pull any further, they'd just be done pulling.
Be done pulling.
So
Right.
we always had him and some really big guys.
I had me
big
and
heads.
yeah, Brian Skelton was on it at one point, and all the
Andre
Andres
boys, yeah.
and the Becks.
Yeah, we had guys
And-
puking.
yeah.
And then it turned into like we had a girls division one year.
Yep.
It got real big because we had maybe 12 teams sometimes. Girls
I think
divisions were
the
fun.
first year was the most memorable. It was like I think that's the year that our team beat like all the muscle guys.
Yeah, these guys are just huge. jacked in the
Huge,
gym.
yeah, and we were all
It was
drinking
fun,
beer
boys,
and
yeah, pretty well having a good time. Yeah, well, the first year was always the most fun of anything, right? Because it was unexpected. fun.
unexpected fun.
People were like right in their face, like 2 inches away, screaming at them, like, "Come on!"
yeah.
It was a thing. And then we did a dodgeball tournament.
That wasn't as good
That
as the
wasn't
truck
as good.
pull.
I mean, the truck.
But
pull-
it's hard to simulate.
yeah, it's hard to bring back the truck pull, right?
Right.
You should bring it back, but you should always bring back everything. So it was
Yeah.
fun. I wish we had the internet back then, or video, or phone.
Oh, my God.
There's no recording.
Can you imagine of having that on recording?
Yeah, I would probably still pull it up and watch it.
I
That
wish.
was so fun.
I wish I would have took more photos and more videos throughout my life, just so I can remember all that stuff. But
Yeah, and you
Wow,
know
that
what?
you'd
No,
be good.
Holden, you'll learn. Some things are better experienced than having on pictures and videos because you gotta just talk.
yeah.
You gotta just experience. Like you've been to like Alabama games, right?
Alabama, LSU.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's a good game.
if you're on your phone,
That was with
if you're taking,
Joe Burrow
Oh, you went to that game?
against Tua. Yeah.
Oh my God.
yeah, he's a Bama legend. Yeah, that's like a historical
would be
game.
insane to go to.
What's that?
That's like a historical game now.
Oh, big
I mean, you
time.
didn't know at the time, but now it's like that's a generational game.
It's gonna.
Is that where Tua got hurt and Jalen Hurts came in?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But think
You
about
went to
those.
that game?
Think about those NFL studs in that game.
Oh my God.
Chase, Jefferson,
Yeah.
CEH, Burrow.
The left tackle
Tua,
for the
Jalen
Bengals.
Hurts, yeah,
Whoever
his
that guy
name
is. That's the Bengals
Who
left
was, all in,
tackle.
who was all in Bama? I know Hurts and Tua. Who else?
Tua Waddle was
Waddle,
on that
right,
team.
Waddle.
Devontae Smith,
Stavante Smith was on
Judy,
that
yeah.
team.
Ruggs.
Oh, Judy and Ruggs, not Judy, I don't think.
Henry
Judy-
Ruggs.
Judy came out the
Ruggs.
same year.
Okay.
The linebacker that was such a stud this year.
Will Anderson.
Yep.
Was he a freshman then?
Yep.
Who was
Mosley.
the running back?
No, CJ Mosley. No.
Was it Najee? Was
That'd
it
be later.
who was the running
Najee,
back?
Probably.
No.
No.
Najee only played for 1 year for Bama.
No, it would
1
have.
year.
I mean, he only got the rock.
Oh,
1
okay.
year.
It would have been
Would've
Josh
been.
Jacobs. No. That came later. It would have been.
Might have been Jacobs.
2 years ago, right?
Might have been Jacobs. It probably was Jacobs.
Yeah, I think it was.
I mean, that's a
But
lot
they
of
didn't.
NFL
They didn't
dudes.
run the ball that much.
No,
that year.
no. It's just
They
to a
threw it a
show.
lot.
Yeah,
you know.
just to a show.
Dang,
But-
that's insane.
Now Tua's going to be crazy.
Yeah, and then the funny part about it, the whole thing
Derek
was.
Stingley, the corner that's gonna be drafted this year. He was a freshman then.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Derek Stingley. Yeah.
We got down there, and I said, we should just take an Uber and go check out, whatever, because we flew
Be
into.
part of the culture, right?
Where was
Be
that
part of the-
played?
Yeah, right.
Where was that played? That game.
In Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your
So
first time in being in Alabama for the game.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we took an Uber, and we were in Birmingham, right? Because I could not get a hotel in Tuscaloosa.
Right. So how far away is that? I have no idea.
I think it was like a 2-hour drive,
Oh, shit.
hour and a
Oh, yeah.
half,
So you
hour
had-
and a half.
You had a haul. It's like going to Green Bay to Milwaukee.
Yeah,
Kinda
maybe
like-
hour and a half. I could be wrong on
Kind of
that.
felt like Green Bay, Milwaukee.
I think an hour and a half, something.
Yeah,
like that.
or staying in Milwaukee for a Madison game.
Birmingham was fine, but so we took the Uber driver, and we were talking about how we're going to get to the game and how much is it going to cost us. It was like
Yeah.
hundreds of dollars to
Yeah,
get
'cause
Uber
it's like
there.
here to Madison, right? Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the Uber guy's like, "Well, you guys are going to the game?" And we're like, "Well, yeah, we just don't know how we're going to get there." And he's like, "Well, I'm an alumni. I'm a season ticket holder. I'll take."
No way.
He's like, "I'll take you." I'm like, "No fucking way," like no way, right? I'm like, "Well, why are you Ubering?" He's like, "Well, I do this for fun."
Why wouldn't he be going to the game? Why was he Ubering? Why wouldn't he just
The
be
night
going
before.
to
No, the night before.
Oh,
No, no,
okay. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So
No,
we
they're
were
tooling around.
we're
right,
just
the night
tooling
before.
around, just
Yeah, yeah.
whatever.
Check out the sites.
And then so yeah, no doubt about it. All of a sudden, 8 a.m. the next
Were you
morning.
freaking out like he's not showing up?
Yeah,
You're like,
well,
he's not showing up.
we were just kind of getting ready, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden my phone's blowing up, and his name was Andrew.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, I'm down here. Let's go."
Yeah. Go time.
And he took us tailgating.
So you got to see behind the scenes, really.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
We were actually in this what they call the golf house, and I was literally drinking beer with. You have to help me out with these names because I'm not a big golf guy, but that Jordan Spieth
Front
Yeah,
page.
yeah.
and Justin Thomas.
Yeah, you're like in that. You're in
Wait,
there with
wait,
I was like this,
You were with JT and Jordan Spieth.
like this. Didn't even know who they were.
Yeah.
What?
I swear to God.
which is more fun, right? You're like just there for the game.
I had no
For
idea.
the LSU at Bama all-time game, right?
Yeah,
What were they ranked
No,
at?
what-
Remember 1, 2?
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Bama was 1,
LSU was one. I think.
I think LSU was
and
one.
LSU won the game.
Who was on the other side? It was Clemson and. It was a playoff game, right? Or was it the game?
No, I was at the in-season game.
Okay.
SEC
in-season,
game.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the
Huge.
playoff game is when Burrow blew out Oklahoma by like 70.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, isn't that cool?
That's
They
right.
call it the golf house.
I know the story. You've told the story multiple times.
Yeah, well, it's just
I think you told me a story
That
like the
would've
week
been the
you were
best day
back.
ever.
You were just like,
hard to believe.
you were on top of the world.
Your number
Yeah,
one guy just texted me.
Get the tailgate with
Witty.
Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas,
I don't
and
know,
then
maybe
go
things
to
were here.
an all-time college football game.
No, that was a good game. They ended up they were down by a lot at half. They came back, lost by like a touchdown.
Jalen Hurts came in at half, right? Or he came in when Tua got hurt.
Yes.
That's funny.
And then after that season, Jalen Hurts transferred to Oklahoma, right?
Yes.
Because who took his job? Was it?
Fields.
No, Fields
No,
went
no.
to Ohio State.
Yeah, yeah.
Who took? Why did Jalen Hurts transfer?
Who took Hurts' job?
Well, how come Hurts transferred out of Alabama after that year?
Well, because what Hurts, what's awesome about Jalen Hurts is he actually stayed. So the year that Tua came in and threw the touchdown pass in the national championship,
Yeah.
Hurts stayed the following year,
And then he got replaced by Tua.
graduated, and then grad transferred.
Oh, yeah.
He said it was more important to him to get his college education knowing he was going to be behind Tua,
Okay.
but then he ended up playing a little bit behind Tua because he got
Yeah.
hurt. And then he transferred as a grad
And
transfer.
then Wilson came. What was the guy from? Was that? I don't know.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
was that. So that three. That's that
Right.
picture where they're all like.
And now I think they got honestly the best quarterback.
Bryce
that's going.
Young?
I think Bryce Young's.
Oh, that dude's ridiculous.
He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think CJ Stroud is. Well, okay, I don't know. I only
I got
watched one
Ja'Cory- I
game.
got
You know quite a bit about
Oh, you guys
sports.
going on forever. I got Ja'Cory Brooks as the guy this year at Bama. Ja'Cory. I have my
Who's
dedicated.
that?
Who's that?
the wide receiver. He played a little bit last year. He got one.
Oh,
touchdown.
yeah.
I think
The
he's
guy
gonna,
who was dropping shit in the national championship, was it that guy?
Yeah, I think he's gonna. No, I think he's gonna be the alpha next year.
Oh, okay.
No, Ajay Hall was dropping some stuff.
Oh, was he the freshman?
Yeah, well, Ajay Hall is more built like Julio,
Was he the true
and
freshman?
Jacory's maybe more a little bigger than
Jameson
Waddle.
Williams got hurt.
I'll tell you where I was at. You don't know this. You know where I was Sunday? I was at March Madness.
What?
Where? Which one?
Both. Badgers.
Where?
Pfizer.
Oh yeah, so was I.
Were you?
Yeah, I took.
You watched that awful
Badger.
Badger?
My son
I took
Marcus-
Millie.
on Friday. I went Friday.
Oh, I went Sunday.
I went Friday morning. Okay, you went Sunday.
I went Sunday for the Badgers,
Oh.
and yeah, I took
I
Millie.
went Friday morning, which was nice. You know, or
pissed.
afternoon. Saw the first
It was
two games.
terrible.
That
We had
was
great
so funny.
seats. We were
Terrible.
row 12,
Oh wow,
dead center, row 17 or 117.
awful. How do you miss threes by 3 points? I mean, by 3 feet.
It was like 2 for 22.
But they
wasn't
missed them by 3 feet.
2 for
They missed them
22.
They missed them like Millie's
2 for
class.
22.
I mean, nothing offensive. Sorry, Millie.
No,
They missed them like a
sorry,
7th grade.
Millie.
They missed them like 7th grade kids, right? They missed them like by 7th.
Oh, it was bad.
Badgers always find a way
Thank
to-
God the Purdue game was amazing. That was
That
fun.
was a really good game. Yeah.
And we had all Purdue fans around us.
Oh yeah, it's fun. Yeah, that's just the fun
Purdue-
atmosphere.
was it what they play?
All right, we got folks.
Texas.
We got folks. We got to get that check.
All right,
so
sorry.
we're down to that time. We're almost at 4:30.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
really?
short.
This is where I got to answer my.
So, is this the first guy who brought something written in?
Yeah.
I'm the first guy. What?
I don't think anybody ever wrote anything down for the billboard question. Not that I remember.
That looks long.
That's okay. So we
I had to write it down. It's-
ask one question every episode. It's always the same question. You have one, and I love this question from Tim Ferriss. You have one big giant billboard. What does it say and why? And
All right. All right. I don't know if I'm answering this like anybody else, but whatever.
It's your billboard. You put
It's-
on
it's
whatever
my
you want.
billboard,
We
so
got somebody that just said they put like a.
It's funny
picture
we
on.
were just talking about sports, but in my garage I have a Kobe Bryant kind of like a canvas art thing, and it hangs right by my front door. And I would like that to be on the billboard. So basically just like it is. So it's a picture of Kobe Bryant with one of his most famous quotes. He was like obviously one of my favorite athletes. I can't relate to lazy people. We don't speak the same language. I don't understand you. I don't want to understand you. Why would I have that on there on my billboard is I believe the quote is spot on. I feel a good portion of our world is lazy and looking for a free ride. And just like Kobe said, I don't understand it, nor do most of the people I'm with understand it. It's definitely a major problem which needs to change. Maybe his words could influence change in a world which needs it.
That's good. Excellent. Which one is it?
I can't relate to lazy people. We
Right there.
don't
Right there.
speak-
Bring it up. Blow it up. It's his billboard. Don't you know how to make it big? Make it big.
Yeah, that one.
The yellow one?
Well, he had it. They're all up there.
Yeah.
Oh, which one is in my garage?
Yeah. Any of them that look like it?
That one,
Which
right
one?
there,
This one?
in the middle.
Over show, the middle one.
That's
Yeah.
what hangs in my garage. Yep.
Yeah. No, bring it up full screen. You know how to do that? That's that little square right there. The square.
Which one? Oh,
The
this.
square. Yeah, the one that looks like a square.
Isn't that a good
Oh, yeah,
saying?
yeah. Just click on it.
That fits you too.
No,
That's
that's for
pretty
the
good.
scanning.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to bust your ass. Like, there's just no other way around it. You know, I even said that Saturday afternoon. Like, sometimes you just got to get after it.
Yeah,
That's just the way it is.
just the way it is.
Right.
Yeah. He was one of my favorites.
Yeah. You know, I read some books on him and stuff. He burned a lot of people out. And I guess, Nick, you knew me. You used to be more that way. I mean, in my 30s, you know, I probably burned a lot of people out. I was way more like Kobe. Like, I didn't care. I just went right through people.
Yeah.
And I've learned, you know, did that get stuff done? Did that make me feel good like it made Kobe feel? Yeah, but you can do that, I think, with making other people feel good around you.
Yes.
And sometimes our intensity, you're a lot like me. Like, I don't know where the other person's at, and I just can't make them get there. It doesn't necessarily mean I always thought they were lazy or just didn't hear me. Sometimes they're just having a bad day.
Yep.
Or they're dealing with shit at home. Or they just aren't, God just didn't make, I mean, you've coached a lot of kids. Talked about Sam Fector shutout. Some kids just aren't made that way. Like,
No.
God bless the kids that are, but I always thought like every person in my 30s, my whole growing up, I thought everybody thought like Joe Fleischman. Finally, people started telling me like, dude, you're burning people out. You're singeing people.
Yep.
I was like, huh? Like, no, we're Kobe in this shit today.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, today's just Tuesday.
Yep.
I'm just trying to get some orders in. I'm just trying to quote some windows to Doughboy.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're doing way more than that. And I'm like, no, that's Joel, that's what I'm doing. That's all I can handle.
Right.
And that's how God made them. They didn't make everybody.
Some people are, but I feel like.
No, I know what that saying says. I'm just saying Kobe in general.
Kobe and Michael Jordan,
And I think like Kobe could have said, he could have handled like Shaq differently, right?
Yes.
Like Shaq, I know you ain't waking up at 4 a.m. like me. I know you're not like psycho like me. Like I'm psycho. Like I don't think Kobe ever realized he's the one that was that far. Like Shaq, but let's get along. Like sometimes I need you to be more intense, and sometimes you know what, I need to chill the hell out. He could never get there. He could never chill out. I think you've chilled out a little bit. I've chilled out quite a bit.
Oh yeah. I think actually, as long as we're on the topic, I believe a guy that is just as good as he was, who does what we're talking about in the NBA, is Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I think he does a really good job
He's more
of that.
relatable.
He's very, he handled the Harden thing really well.
Yeah,
Clearly, I don't think he wanted him there, but he did.
But you got to be a good teammate. Like this
he's
is
just
what
like
the path
the way it
is.
Right.
Now,
I think that's what's changed.
Yeah. In the world.
You can't have Kobe Bryant's or Michael Jordans in the NBA anymore.
No, and even at lumberyards or construction companies.
Same thing.
I mean, when you started, we were open every single Saturday. I opened the gate. My dad opened the gate every day. We locked the gate every night. Period. We worked every Saturday.
Yeah.
I worked a lot of nights. I worked a lot of Sundays.
By you not being open Saturdays, it's making me not work Saturdays now a little bit.
But that's the world.
No, I know.
And it's not a bad thing.
No, it isn't.
I mean, we work so many hours, but ultimately we were burned out too. And again, that fried people out.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of good people that way, or they didn't take the job because they're like, this isn't right for me. And you could spend more time with your kids. And
you get more out of people. It's just like in the winter when it's cold. Like I tell my guys, like, I'm paying you more money, so we can't mess around. But in the summer, we bank your hours away, and
way to go.
Yeah, right.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on, brother.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Peace.
Thank
We're
you.
out.